Oh, we have mother and children together today. Look at that. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, welcome, folks. Chumash Rashi, continuing sixth reading. We're in the middle of Passover. So, verse 22, Useir chatas echad. Thank you, Pesach, for filling in. Is the air on? I want to see it's a little warm in here.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, okay. So Seir Chatas, so the he-goat. It's interesting that the he-goat is the sin offering, right? Because she doesn't sin. Your daughters didn't get that, but the mother did. Okay. So with the he-goat echad l'chaper aleichem, that will be an atonement for you. Milvad, aside from Eilas HaBaker, what is the Eilas HaBaker? Anybody remember? Asher la'Eilas HaTami tasu kole es Eila. So aside from the ascent offering of the morning, which is a continual offering, that you should do this. So the fact that it says upon, what does that mean? Anybody remember? We had this previously. Anybody remember?
Honestly.
It means in addition to. So this is called the additional offering, the Musaf offering, right? It's well, here it actually means this is not the addition. This is not the Musaf offering actually, but it means it means it comes afterwards because it's upon these, right? Offer these besides means afterwards, the morning offering. Okay. Ke'ela tasu, these ye shall do, liyom shivas liyom, during the day, shivas yomim, for 7 days, right? Because the holiday of Pesach, this is the offering every day on Pesach. Lechem, it is a food. Ishe, fire offering. Reach nichoyach, it is a pleasant fragrance. Lashem, for God. Those three things. It is food that sustains the heavens. It is a fire offering towards God and a pleasant fragrance for God. Al oilas,
Number?
24. Al oilas atamid, the offering is upon the ascent, continuous ascent offering. Yasem, you shall make, and v'niskoy, together with its libation. Rashi, ke'elatasu leyoy, these that you will offer daily. Sheloye peichsin v'hilchim kipare achag. Interesting. In other words, he's comparing this to Sukkot, which we will have, which then on Sukkot, you will start off with 14, you go to 13, 12, which becomes less. These offerings are the same every day for the 7 days of Pesach. Okay? In other words, no change in the 7 days. Now comes the seventh day. Mikra Kodesh, it is a convocation of holiness, or a holy occasion, if you will. Lachem shall be for you. Kol malachas aveda, all malacha. Malacha means work, but it means creative work. Aveda of mundane work. Lo yisasu, you shall not do. V'yayim bikurim, and the day of bikurim, which is the first fruits, which is interesting. Rambams, that's what we're learning in Rambam right now. Huh?
Fourth year.
Oh, May.
Fourth year, right? Not Shavuos.
No.
Fourth year?
Huh?
The fourth year?
No, that's Neta Ravoy. That's another mitzvah.
Okay.
But Bikurim is the first fruits, right? Ba'akrivchem mincha, when you offer them the new grain, chadasha, that's new, La Hashem for God, Beshvuai Seichen, it's going to be with your weeks. Now, this is not an offering that has got to do with Pesach, but it's got to do with the weeks, Mikra Kodesh. It is also a convocation of holiness or a holy occasion. Yelachem will be to you, all types of malachas aveda, of mundane work or that you shall not do. So now he says, B'yom HaBikurim. What is this Yom HaBikurim? It's called the first fruits, right? What is this in reference to? So Rashi says, we're in 26, right? The Chag HaShavuos, this is the holiday of Shavuos. Koderi, Bikuri K'tzir Chitim. It's called the first fruits of the wheat harvest. I'll stay on why. Because I'll stay alechem, because then you bring two breads. Shem Rishon leminchas chitim. They're the first meal offering of wheat, abayim min achadash. It comes from the new crop. So the new crop is first offered on Shavuos, and that's what it means here. B'yom HaBikurim, first fruits. So be careful with the word first fruits, right? Because fruit we think of like it's going to be an apple or it's going to be figs. But what is it? No, it's the wheat harvest. It's the first of the wheat harvest. And there you bring what's called the shtei alechem, the two breads. These are breads that now make the new season, starts the new season of you bring from chadash, from the new crop. So as opposed from the old crop, you're not bringing from the previous year, bringing from this year. By the way, this is the only time in the Beis Hamikdash you bring something that's chametz. This is chametz. Everything else is kosher for Passover. All of the other meal offerings, right? We call it a meal offering. You might think that it looks like porridge or something like that, right? But it's Pesach day.
So it's like matzah.
Yeah, I don't think it has the consistency of matzah, but it's matzah in the fact that it's not together more than 18 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So we got that. So now, vikraftem, and you shall offer oila, this ascent offering, reach nichayach l'Hashem, which is a pleasing fragrance to God. What is it? Not what we just previously said. Parim b'nei bakar. This is young bulls that are a year old, b'nei bakar, young bulls, a year old, or b'nei bakar, no, it doesn't say year old. Shnayim, two of them. Ayal echad, one ram. Shivas kvasim, 7 lambs. B'nei shana, that are a year old. So it's the lambs that are a year old. Okay. 28, umin chasam, and now comes a grain offering, selas, which is a fine flour, right? In other words, it's more refined. Belula, that's mixed, b'shemen, with oil, shleisha esrainim, 3/10 of an ephah, lepar ha'echad, for each par, for each bull, shnei esrainim, and 2 esrainim, 2/10 of an ephah, la'ayal la'echad, for each, there's only one ram, for the ram. Okay? Isarain, 10th a 10th, lekevas echad, for each lamb, l'shivas akvasim, for the 7 lambs. So what does that make? It will be 7/10 altogether when you add it up, right? Sirizim, a young he-goat, echad, 1, that will be an atonement for you, right? Milvad, now this is aside from Eilas Somit. What is this? Remember?
Musaf.
What?
Not Musaf, but an extra sacrifice.
No, the daily offering. Aside from Oilas, the ascent offering, Tamid, that is continual, which is a daily offering, right? Which was the first thing that we learned yesterday, right?
How much is
I don't know. A good question.
Like a tablespoon?
No. It's much more than that. Much more.
Just asking.
Yeah, I have to look. I don't recall exactly. I don't know if it's 43 and a third eggs or something. I don't know if that's the full ephah. I don't remember now. Milvad, this is aside from the Talmud, Omin Chasai, and its meal offering, right? Ta'asu that you shall make. Tmimi miyulachem v'niskehem. They will be unblemished. Actually, Tmimi doesn't mean unblemished, by the way. Tmimi means pure or perfect or perfection. But it translates on in context unblemished. It will be for you v'niskehem and their libations. Rashi in 31. They'll be unblemished for you when they him in their libations. This verse implies that the libations also will be unblemished. That's what the inference is. So our rabbis learn from here, the sages learn from him, that the wine which is brought up with the flour. In other words, if there was like a flour scum on the surface, posel and sochim is disqualified for libations. In other words, if it comes up with some, on the surface of the wine, that it becomes a little,
fermented.
I guess like a fermentation that's got a little, like flour looking or some kind of stuff on the top of it. That means it's not pure, it's blemished, and that's disqualifying. Okay.
Mm-hmm. 1.
Okay, we're now chapter 29, verse 1. In the 7th month, on the first day. What day is that? Anybody know? What day is that called? Rosh Hashanah. Excellent. Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is the 7th month, the first day. Mikra Kodesh, again, it's a occasion of holiness. Iyalachem will be for you. Kol malechas aveda loisasu. Again, the same phrase, right? Kol malechas, all malacha. Malacha means a work that is got creativity to it. Aveda means heavy work. Kol malechas aveda loisasu, you shall not do. Yoim Teruah, look how this is known to us as Rosh Hashanah. It's called the day of the blast of the shofar. Iyalachem will be for you. Verse number 2. Vasisam oila. Right. So this is not speaking about the holiday per se. What is it? What is the context of all of this? What we're learning here? What's the context? Sacrifices, exactly. Sacrifices, if we start off with the daily sacrifice, then we went to Shabbos, weekly, then we went to monthly, Rosh Chodesh, and then we went to the holidays that are even less observed, right? But so we went from the many to the fewer, and so we're speaking about the holidays now, but the context of it is not the holiday per se and the observance of the holiday, but it's about the offerings that make this a special occasion in the offerings. Verse number 2, Vasisem, and you shall make a law, again an ascent offering, which is a pleasing fragrance, Lashem to God. Par, and what is this? A par ben bakar, a young bull, 1 echad, ayel echad, 1 ram. Interesting. No, it's not the same. There's only 1 bull, not 2 bulls. We had by Shavuos 2 bulls. Here it's only 1. Now Rashi doesn't pick up on the difference because why?
The child would know the difference.
No, but why would the child know?
I don't know.
Why? So why? Because
instead of one and 2.
The other things are the same. Because each holiday has its uniqueness to it, and for the simple meaning of the text is not necessarily it's a question, right? Each holiday has its special uniqueness, and that's what I understand, right? And therefore, it's not a question for the 5-year-old. Why is is other things that are very different, right? That don't follow maybe a general. So yeah,
Quirks.
right. It says Rosh Hashanah, the first day of the year, so it's one, so it could be one of, Okay,
It's God's formula.
God's formulation, exactly. Min chasam, and it's meal offering, silas, again, fine flour. Fines get in there very often, Balula mixed b'shemen with olive oil, shleish esreinim, 3/10 of an lapar, shnei esreinim la'ayol. So this is the same formula, and 2/10 for the ram.
Just to elaborate on what I asked earlier, an ephah is equivalent to a bushel.
A bushel.
So it's 1/10 of a bushel, 3/10 of a bushel of flour,
Okay, thank you.
according to Google.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
The grain offering, are we doing?
I always, as a kid, wondered what a bush, I know what a bushel is because, we went to the farm. Bushel's pretty big.
I also looked at it. It's 22 liters.
22 liters?
Yeah.
A bushel,
I don't know if a bushel's 22 liters, but an
I guess it is.
22 liters,
22 liters.
Okay.
22 liters, which is so many gallons.
22 liters.
22 liters.
The 22 liters,
5 gallons.
so a tenth of a liter, a tenth of it would be with
2.2 liters.
two, yeah. Yisarain echad lekeves echad shivas kvasim. It's interesting here. It says before it said, just to pick it up on the difference, folks. It said Yisarain. It said twice the word Yisarain, right? Here it only says one time. Yisarain echad 1/10 lekeves echad for each of the lambs l'shivas kvasim for the 7 lambs. Sirizim, and there goes that he goat again. Echad, one of them, achatos, is a sin offering l'chaper aleichem to bring atonement for you. Milvad,
The same offering before, we also did one.
the same except the bull was 2 by Shavuos. Here it's 1. Milvad, aside from Eilas Achodesh. What's today? It's Rosh Chodesh, right?
What?
So, today in the verse.
Okay.
Rosh Hashanah is Rosh Chodesh, right? It's the first day of the month, the first day of the year, right? Aside from the oilas, the ascent offering of the month, Omin Chasa, and its meal offering of oilas atomid, and also the ascent offering, the continuous one, meaning the daily one, Omin Chasa, and its meal offering, V'niskeihem and libation, Kamishpatam, according to their judgment or their law, as prescribed. L'reach nichayel, that is a pleasant fragrance. Ishe, a fire offering, Lashem, to God. Rashi in number 6. Milvad, aside from the oila offering of the month, oilas chodesh, musaf Rosh Chodesh, the musaf of the first day of the month, shehu b'yom Rosh Hashanah, which is also on the day of Rosh Hashanah.
You just said,
Huh?
you just said that.
In other words, you might think, might you think? That Rosh Hashanah offering is going to supplant the Rosh Chodesh offering because Rosh Hashanah is also the first. No, it doesn't.
I mean, Rosh Chodesh is more holy.
No, it just means it doesn't supplant it.
Okay.
That's all. It doesn't replace it, right?
So I don't understand. Is it taken all together or one thing at a time? What's happening?
Yeah, one thing at a time.
So you have to take.
So first will come. So
take the Rosh Hashanah offering and take the 2 bulls and the.
Well, first you take the daily offering.
Well, you take
That
the
comes
Rosh-
first. That comes
and then
first.
Then you take the Rosh.
That's why it's called Musaf.
Then you
right?
take the Rosh Chodesh offering, then you take the Rosh Hashanah offering.
That's That's the way Rashi doesn't say that here, but that's the way he said it earlier when he says milvad, right? Yeah. Interesting here. It says before the way it was learned out. It says al upon, right? Upon means in addition. So it means that the other thing comes first, and this is in addition to it, right? Just like we have davening shacharis, and then we have musaf afterwards. Why? Because that's the way it was on Shabbos. But here it's not so clear because it doesn't say the word al, but for sure the daily offering comes first. That's for sure, right? And then, and Rosh Hashanah has a musaf to it. That comes afterwards. I would think that the Rosh Chodesh comes before the Rosh Hashanah one, right? That's the way, although it doesn't say the word al over here, but that's the way I understand. Okay, next holiday. Be'eser l'chodesh, on the 10th of the month, Ashvi of the 10th month, Hazeh of this month. Mikra Kodesh, it is a holy occasion. Yelachem will be for you, Vanisem, and you will afflict, it's nafshesechem, your being, your souls, literally souls. Interesting, doesn't say right? Also a change, right? But Rashi doesn't pick up on it for whatever reason. Doesn't seem to be a problem in the simple meaning of the text, because sometimes it changes one to the other. It's not always malachas aveda. But this is the first time we've had this. Only malacha lo yisasu. Huh? This is Yom Kippur, right? That's when you afflict your souls, right? How do you afflict your soul? No. No.
You fast.
You fast.
Be easier to get the lashes.
Okay, v'yikraftem oilal, and you will bring an offering of an ascent offering l'Hashem to God. Reach nichayach, it is a pleasing fragrance par. Ben bakar echad, also one young bull. Ayal echad, one ram. Kvasim b'nei shana shiva sitimimi yulachem. But when it comes to the to the lambs, it is 7 that are unblemished, will be for you. Number 9, umin chasam, and the meal offering, seilas, fine flour, belum shaman, that is mixed with olive oil. Shoish esrainim, also 3/10 of an ephah, of a bushel, or about 6.5 liters of flour. Lepar, for the bar, shnei esrainim la'ayel, and 2/10 for the ram, ha'echad, 1 ram. Yisrael Yisrael. You see here it says again Yisrael Yisrael. By Rosh Hashanah it just said one time Yisrael, right? Yisrael Yisrael lekeves. Folks, I hope you've learned to become observant Jews. Observant Jew, when you're learning Chumash Rashi, means to observe and to recognize the distinctions that there are in the verses that we're learning, right? Yisrael, not 1/10 of lekeves echad for each lamb. Shila shiva sekvasim, for the 7 lambs. Number 11, sirizim echad, a he-goat 1. Chatas, that is a sin offering. Milvad, aside from chatas akipurim, the sin offering of Yom Kippur, which is interesting. Let's see what Rashi has to say about that, right? Ba'ilas atamid, and the daily offering, amin chasa, and its meal offering, when iskeihem, and its libation. But when you look at the English is so different in the translation. It translates it in an easier way to understand. But if you're looking in the English and you want to learn some Hebrew, you're not going to learn Hebrew, right? You're not going to learn it from the translation, because it says, and their libations besides the continual offering and its grain offering. Well, that's not the way it's written in the verse.
What's it written?
Libations at the end, right? Now, okay, Rashi in 11, milvad chatas hakipurim, aside from the sin offering of atonement. So, what is the verse saying over here? It says, bring a he-goat, right, as a sin offering, aside, right, This is aside from the sin offering of atonement. So Rashi says, "So'ir." This is the higosh anasa bifnim that's done in the tabernacle in the Holy of Holies. Amar Achrei Moshe that we learn in the Parsha Achrei Moshe shegam hu chatas. It's also sin offering. Remember the Kohen Gadol. The Kohen Gadol, 2 goats, sin offering goats are brought before him. One is done inside, and one is sent to the Azazel, right? So this is what it's making reference to.
One that goes over the cliff.
Yeah. But it's actually not the one that's going over the cliff. Interesting. This is the one that's done in the Holy of Holies. Its blood is sprinkled on the outer altar. And one that's on the inner altar. That's the inner altar. Okay. The oilas hatami, the continual daily offering, right? Milvad oilas hatami, aside from the continual ascent offering that's brought every day, tasu oilas alolu, you should also do these oila ascent offering, right? Those that are in verse 8 through 10. Do also all these things. Yeah. Interesting. My Rashi brings that. Beniskehem and their libations. Musaf al Musafim Maksuvim. This refers to the Musaf offering of Yom Kippur that we wrote in the earlier passage. In other words, it's not referring to the daily offering, right? It's saying, and that's why it's, by the way, that's why in the verse it said the libation first, because it made it more clear. The libation is not referring you the way it's written in the verse. It sounds like the libation is referring to the daily offering, right? It's not. It's referring to the Yom Kippur offerings. That's why in the translation it said it that way, because it makes it more clear. That's what Rashi is saying over here, that it's referring to the Yom Kippur offerings, the al tasu, and that you shall perform. This is a command. Aside from the continual daily offering and their meal offering, tasu is eila, you should do these, and because it has the vav over there, and the libations, right? So Torah it's kind of written in an awkward fashion. Why? It's a good question. Likewise, all the Niskehem, all the libations is written in all of the festivals, Chutz Mishel Chag, except for those the offerings of the Sukkot holiday. Shekol Veniska Veniskehem Venisachem Shebehem, that the words there, when it comes to the festival of Sukkot, it uses different words for libation. Its libation, their libations. There it's not a command. Because the libations of Musaf on Sukkot, Ksuvim la'atma are written individually every single day. And their meal offerings and libations for the bulls. Okay. Amazing.
Good timing.
Whoa, perfect timing. Okay. Shkoyach, everybody. See you in a few moments.
Yeah.
Anya.
So the order of the thing, what we learned that idea of the concept